Hello and welcome to Inspiring Ideas, yet another episode. It's going to be a fabulous one. And today, our guest today is a very inspiring Manpreet Budhraja, who's currently a data engineer. She's also a founder at AIM Learning. She's a speaker, she's a mentor, she wears multiple hats. Welcome to our show. How are you going today, Manpreet?
Thank you for inviting me to Inspiring Idea podcast. I'm doing good.
Awesome. Great to have you. Yeah. So, based on our research so far about you, Manpreet, and we have had a number of chats in the year and a half with LinkedIn opening up, and then we were so inspired with the number of contents that you are creating. And we understand there are two key elements that you are so passionate about, and I'm sure our listeners would learn a lot as well. First one is, who's Manpreet? What's her story in short about getting into data science and data engineering role, and her love for AI, and how is she actually spreading this love across the community, being a speaker, blogger, and I call it a community builder as well. The other element that we wanted to cover today is Manpreet being a research assistant and also a machine learning internship that she does. And how does she even find the time to do all of this? And it takes a lot of hard work. And that's why we wanted you to come on to our show and inspire millions of people. Let's get the show started, Manpreet. What's your passion and who's Manpreet? And can you tell that story?
So I'm like a curious data scientist exploring myself. I actually realized the importance what I'm studying when I went for my master thesis. I cribbed a lot that why did I took maths and not BTech, because in India it's valued a lot when you are into BTech computer science or something. But now when I am earning and doing what I like, I feel job doesn't matter. Matter is how much you put in your hard work, patience, and your passion for your goals. So
That's fantastic. So, Mandeep, what I want to know from you is that what were your initial steps that you took to get into the field of data science, like step one, step two, step three?
To be honest, I didn't took any step. I started off by learning Java, making
Mhm.
Android apps in first year. Then in second year, learned HTML, CSS. That did not like. Then I went for like an internship where I got to interact with people in ML, AI, and that's how I started to learn. And that's how it grew by doing work and project and internships. And that's how I started to like. It was never a planned journey, but then it happened. But like I try to do courses, but I'm like not a person who can do course and learn. I'm more of a person like who can do projects and learn. So I did by learning projects.
That's really
Hmm.
good. Can you talk about your first internship?
So it was in Chandigarh in CSIO, and there I worked on Indian languages. Took the data, did the cleaning stuff, and it like sort of transfer learning. And then based on that, my second internship I got in NLP, and the thesis internship I got in NLP, and that's how I got interested in NLP. So because my previous experience was in NLP, I got based on that another internship, and that's how it all turned out to be.
So, just for our audience, NLP is natural language processing.
Processing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because there's also another abbreviation for that, neuro linguistic program. So I just want to be
Yeah.
very clear. So our audience is a mix of both tech and non-tech, and I'm just clarifying it. Thank you, Manpreet. So Manpreet is now a brand, right? So you talk about having a AIM session wherein you go and help community, and then I've also seen your post regarding your Kaggle involvement, and you got showered with a lot of praise in the Kaggle community as well. And then you run
Yeah.
a Slack along with others where you help the community. So Manpreet brand. So what is what? Tell me about Manpreet brand.
So basically, I never knew about personal branding. I used to post what I like, but then I attended this one podcast by Priyanka Komla, and that person who was in the podcast was telling about personal branding, and the person who asked the good question won that to get have a chance one-on-one mentoring with that person, and luckily I won that, and he literally scanned my LinkedIn and told me where I was long. When people Google search you, what should it look like?
Hmm.
And I think after that, it just changed for me because I learned how to post. What does
Hmm.
your audience want? Why you want to post? What does it look like? And then after that, it changed completely.
Hmm.
And AIM learning is something that we are trying to build a professional network for the people into data and AI science communities, because we believe that there's a lot of communities for students, but there's no community that can help the professionals. So just a professional network that we are trying to build out of it.
Excellent.
So, what is the
Maybe-
most important lesson for you in terms of personal branding? If somebody doesn't know anything about personal branding, a student who is just passed out of the college, what is your one tip for them?
Share what you like and be yourself. Like there should be something unique that you're posting about on it.
Right, that's
Beautiful.
fantastic.
You talked about mentorship, Manpreet. So, how did you find ones? And I mean, I understand that you got picked up from your previous answer, but are there any professional mentors for you? And how do you go about those sessions? And how do you really take it seriously?
So yeah, I did took that seriously and it helped me a lot. And talking about mentors, my parents are my first mentors whom I look up to. Like they are my biggest inspiration. And then Tom came into life, you can say that, and it's been incredible. I think we share like a father daughter bond now, and it's so good. Even my family knows about it.
Mhm.
And uh, now we are like a family of 600 on integrated MLI, and we do believe in
Fantastic.
more together learning, and
Mm.
that's how we are building it.
Mm.
That's great.
Excellent.
Now, from the outside world, the data science looks very scary. Okay, my question is that, and it seems to be very technical kind of a role. Students who are now looking to find career opportunities, thinking what they should do in their future. What advice do you have for them if they want to build their career in data science field?
Like one mistake I did was as a student, we always believe that data science is about building models.
Mhm.
But the best data scientist is the one who knows his data and can sell his data at its best. So, as a student I'd like to say focus on what that data can help the company achieve and generate revenues. Because when I'm into industry, I realize that they don't look on what you build, what model you use. They look that how that data can help them generate revenues or save their profits or save their losses. So that's one thing that a data scientist should be good at, to
Mm.
know the data.
So, do they have to really go and do an academic type of data science role within the university, or do you reckon, say, somebody like me who has done mechanical engineering, has nothing to do with data science, can still get into it whilst I'm studying that in the university?
While you are at university, you are still doing a data science because you study your own marks,
Mm.
rectify it, and improve it. So that's a data science. You study your own data. Data is everywhere. When I started to work in book publishing company, I never knew that data could be there. I always imagined that Fank is the one that has data science and role, but no, data is everywhere. It's just
That's
we
true.
who has to use it, because nowadays oil companies are using data science.
Mm.
um, Various industries are using data science. Stock markets is using data science. It's everywhere, but it's us who has to see the new perspective of how to use that data.
Mm. Talk about your community, Manpreet. So I'm just intrigued with the amount of information that goes into. I'm being a part of that Slack community. I can see the amount of traction that goes in 600 plus members. And how did you form? What did you learn? And how are you helping the new aspirants? And if you can share some tips around it. people can get benefit
So
out
it is like an year back.
of?
Randomly, I commented on some post, and that's how me and Tom got connected. And he asked me this one question: "Do you want to write for my blog?" So I said yes. So he asked me why. I said, "Okay, I just want to write it because at this moment I'm exploring myself." And it just started that way. And then we started having mentoring sessions, and that's how it happened. I think everything happened naturally. We never planned to have it,
Right.
but this integrated MLA is like a different community that I'm part of. But the one that I am building up is like AIM Learning, which stands for Artificial Intelligence Machine Learning, which is a network for professionals. So like I'm working to create two communities at the moment.
Good. Nice.
So keen to understand what are your learnings from working on so many different communities.
Networking, collaboration, teamwork, and be a good listener, because if you want to get listen, you have to be a good listener. So
Mhm.
listening and improving on people, and like there will be people who criticize you too bad, but there'll be people who want you to improve it. So take the positive and leave the negatives.
It's an excellent attitude. I've seen many interviews where Tom and you and there are a lot of other people who keep talking, and I've seen you listen especially really well. So good on you, and that's a great advice for people.
Thank you.
And why do you think it's important for someone who want to build a career in data science or AI should be part of this community? What can they gain out of it?
So when I learn a concept, I have a new perspective to it, and the people who are experienced into this field might have like way different perspective to it. So it gives you different perspective to a same concept. You
Hmm.
get to learn with lot of people. So you alone cannot do anything, be it
No.
community, be it work, be it anything. So team efforts always leads you to grow way more better than you doing that alone. So I think team learning is one thing. We have like Kaggle chapter, which weekly we have like they have a talk on Kaggle. They're doing the Titanic problem, and so how is it going? It's going that way.
So in a way, we are exploring some of the real life experiences in the form of data sets, and then putting that into practice to see what other perspectives can we bring in by very set of perspectives from people, which is awesome. And that's how you
Yeah,
learn.
and also like when people start to come, they have started to speak, which we never do. And now
Mm,
when they speak, they have been noticed by recruiters as well, and some even got job because how they presented, they knew. They give talks. Now they give talks openly, and they're very confident, and that's so good to see that your community is growing, and in a
yeah.
very good, healthy way.
And Manpreet, I've seen that you're very active on LinkedIn, right? Uh, why do you
Mm,
think LinkedIn is so important, especially for young professionals?
Because nowadays, if you are noticed, you are recruited. Besides your work, people are looking how active you are as building and collaborating with others, because skills can be learned, but communication, working together is what they look into, because that comes inherent in when you're working. But learning Python, you can easily do by courses and learn. But I think
mm,
recruiters nowadays also look into how you talk, how active you are, how well you know the things happening in world.
it's true.
That's great. Manpreet, my next question will sound more like an interview question, but I'll still go and ask you this question. You had a great start to your career. I'm keen to know what's the way forward for you from here, like 3 years down the line, or 5 years, or 10 years down the line.
Uh,
What do you want to do?
I really don't know what will happen because life is full of surprises, but I do want that the community of professionals that we are building is taken to a great recognition and people understand its value. And I can, what mistakes I did in my college, I never had a support or something. I could provide it to my juniors or people out there.
How can people reach out to you, Manpreet?
I'm on LinkedIn. I try my best to be active, Um, I do get late with sometimes with responses, but I do try to help my best on LinkedIn.
Are you ready for a rapid fire before we close?
Yeah,
All right. Python or R?
Python,
Okay. AWS or Azure?
AWS, never worked on Azure.
What's your favorite quote?
Um, you can do it, believe in you. That's what's written in front of my softboard currently.
What's your inspiration?
My parents and my brother.
Inspiring ideas.
Awesome. Inspiring others.
Fantastic. That's great. Thanks, Manpreet.
Yeah.
Thank you for being
Welcome.
with us today. Good luck.
All right.